My other fantasy is to have been friends with the great scientist from history, and this is about that, and it's also about the fine line between genius and batshit crazy. Have you met my friend Isaac? You know Isaac. He's kind of intense, and he's really into maths. Isaac was always the weirdest boy in class. He had this phase where he was really into triangular bits of glass. He'd study how the rainbow patterns they cast and how different shapes would affect them. That's when his teachers realised Isaac was definitely on the spectrum. At uni, he didn't care much for taking part, not when he could be reading Descartes. While most of us were on the bottle, he'd have his nose in Aristotle. And when a tricky problem had him tortured, we'd go for a walk in the orchard. One day, a falling apple nearly hit him on the head. He suddenly got excited and turned to me and said, "Isn't it weird that apples always fall down or up or sideways?" "Not really, that's how falling works." And he was like, "Yeah, but why?" "It just is. I reckon stuff attracts other stuff in proportion to how much stuff there is." "Isaac, what the hell are you on about?" "There's an invisible force that can act over long distances." "Stop reading those dodgy occult books, they're a load of cobblers." "The apple falls down because it's falling towards the centre of the earth, and it's the same force that makes the moon go round the earth." "Isaac, you're a really clever guy, but you say some dumb stuff sometimes." Years later, I spent a night on Isaac's floor. The morning after an indulgent night before, he tried to rouse me from my stupor. I said, "No, what way is that to treat a guest? I am at rest, and I shall remain at rest, unless you force me off the ground." He had a look in his eye like it just said something profound. He dragged me to my feet and pushed me. I pushed him back with the same amount of force in the opposite direction. I had a click in his brain, like he'd just made a connection. He ran to his room to write something down, and didn't come out for 2 years. He emerged with a book in which he laid clear how mathematical rules, universal laws, govern how an eagle soars, how a pendulum swings, in fact, the motion of all things. Then Isaac disappeared in his lab once more, working more feverishly than before. I dropped in and saw bubbling beakers, bottles of mercury, papers all over the floor. "What are you working on?" I asked, lifting the lid on a conical flask before the escaping vapour hit me like a force of nature. "The philosopher's stone," he replied, a mad glint in his eye, "a substance that the ancients foretold would turn base metals into purest gold." He sounded like a man possessed. If I didn't know better, I'd suggest that this great mind all the world reveres had faded with advancing years. But what do I know? Isaac's crazy ideas have always been right before. He'll crack this one any day now, I'm sure. Thank you.